At this time, I call the annual town meeting, special town meeting, to order. A couple of housekeeping tips. Have a large crowd. You may move to your left or to your right. We still have people coming in, so please, not too many seats in between you because we're going to need them all. If you are non-resident, please, up here in the front, to my left, it would be to your right. Right, there's the wave, thank you. Non-residents over there, please. The fire chief has asked that I point out the fire exits, which are located on either side of the stage and back at the end of each aisle. If you haven't done so already, please silence your phones. If you could all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
I'm working it.
I want to watch Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, thank you for your patience. If we can get back at it. People in the back, you cannot stand back there. There are plenty of seats. Please come and sit down. We will not get started until you sit down. Do not cross in back where all the audio and video stuff is, please. They do a great job setting this up, and there's all kinds of wires and everything else back there. Please find a seat. Again, if you're a non-resident, down to my left over here in the front, they're listed as non-resident seats. I'm also going to note that the officer's return of this meeting warrant shows that it was properly served and posted.
I know. I'll take care of it. Yeah, we'll redo it. Yeah.
That's what the moderator told me. A lot of parents aren't going to be here yet.
They're coming after, they're coming later because...
Later because this is so much for their kids. Well, if a majority vote. Here, shouldn't it? Why not? These people should run, but the moderator runs the show.
I don't know. I don't know, Paul. Either way, we're going to be in deep sneakers, you know. Okay. Okay. No? Okay.
Okay, let's get started. Article 1. You can turn that microphone on. There you go.
I think it's on now.
Yes.
Mr. Moderator, Article 1. I move to waive the reading and approve the article as published.
Can we have a second? Okay. Advisory Committee. Nope.
I'll try this one. The advisory committee recommends a yes vote. Even though the committee has voted yes, there were concerns that the process handling payments and bills in a timely manner needs to be addressed. This is a very large amount of money that hadn't been paid last year, and it was felt that it's imperative that we pay these bills because it's a town debt, so we need to pay it, but we need to be more prudent with making sure we get our payments done on time.
Mr. Moderator.
Thank you.
Moderator.
Yes.
Could we have a roll call vote of the advisory board?
Turn the microphone on, please. Go ahead. The microphone was not on. Go ahead. They can't hear you in the back.
Mr. Moderator, could we have a roll call vote of the advisory board to affirm their vote? And could we do that on all subsequent articles?
Well, the roll call vote was from 5 to 1 as printed in front of you.
But we don't know who voted in the affirmative and who didn't. I think it's important for us to know.
Yeah. He wants to know exactly which one voted yes, which one voted no. Okay. It's already listed. It's right here, 5 to 1. And he doesn't have to say. Mr. Spring, you're the chairman of the advisory committee? Okay. Did you hear his question? Yes, I did. Okay. Do you want to answer that? You could simply say who the no is and probably save us all a long time.
The advisory board voted for this. It's a 5 to 1 at our meeting, at a pre-town meeting. It was open to the public. I don't think we need to take and go through that vote again.
Okay, what we're asking you is who the no vote was.
The no vote was from Ms. Farrell, and the question that was also posed is, are the selectmen going to give a breakdown of all the...
Mr. Spring, there's a little button on the side of the microphone. Just turn it on and then just leave it on, that's all.
Can you hear me now? How about now?
Forget, right there in front of you. It's right there in front.
Thank you.
That's fine. Now we have a problem.
The advisory board, at their pre-town meeting held on the 12th, voted 5 to 1. Ms. Farrell is the one that voted no. The question also is the selectmen going to end up giving us a breakdown or the sewerage of all the 66,000? There was a list, and when we saw it, there was a lot of it was received prior to July 1st.
Mr. Spring,
Yes.
we asked you one question, that's it. If you have something else in discussion, I'll hear it. But
Okay.
that was the one question we're asking the committee.
I'm sorry.
Okay, further discussion. Go ahead.
The reason why I voted no was
Julie,
because...
can you just identify yourself?
Julie Farrell, 24 Myrtle Street, Baldwinville. The reason why I voted no on this article, because when we voted as an advisory committee, there was a breakdown in a list of all the items that added up to $66,856. In that breakdown, there were a number of questions, and there was no one there from the sewer department to answer those questions. I voted no. Two of the bills were from September of 2015. They were water bills. And the water bills, those water bills were received in August of 2016. And I had questions about those. Why was the billing so delayed? Why didn't they get them? So I voted no on that. This requires a 9/10 vote, and I'm going to vote for it. But when we made our recommendations, I voted no because there were no answers to my questions.
Thank you. Further discussion? Okay, seeing none, let's vote on Article 1. I will mention that it is a 9/10 vote, as stated in the paperwork in front of you. All in favor of Article 1 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Okay. Article 1 passed at 7:17 p.m. Oh, okay. It passed by 9/10 at 7:17 p.m. Yes, go ahead.
There's still 141 Gray Road. What is considered 9/10 of the folks in this room? How many?
You want an official number?
Yes, sir.
Okay. While we're waiting for that number to come in, they're still counting out there in the hallway. Some people are actually still arriving. If you're up in the back and you didn't hear my announcement earlier, please have a seat. Do not stand along that back wall, and do not cut in front of the audio-video place, please. There's still some seats down here. Please find a seat. We can't have you standing up in the back. Come on down. Come on down, there's seats. Okay, we can get back at it. Sorry about that. To the, Ms. Toth? Where is she? Liz? So the answer to your question is 512 registered voters here tonight, okay? 462 had to say yes, and 52 had to say no. Okay, Article 2. Nope, try it again. Nope.
Hello? Mr. Moderator, Article 2, FY 2017 Operating Budget Supplement. I move to waive the reading and approve the article as published.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Advisory Committee.
The Advisory Committee recommends against this article unanimously. The stabilization account is the town savings account. At this point in time, there is no money to replenish the stabilization account, considering that we're facing a $1 million deficit for fiscal 2013. We are unable to know how many years it will be before money will be able to be voted back into stabilization fund. The use of stabilization fund when the town has pending deficits and other budget issues, we do not feel is fiscally wise. We're taking a stabilization fund with $142,326.99, and we're being requested to take $87,501 out of that. We recommended unanimously against this. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? One
Mr.
minute.
Moderator.
1 minute. Go ahead, ma'am.
Autumn. Thank you for coming to
If the green light is on, the microphone is on.
Thank you for coming tonight. You don't know how good this makes me feel.
Can you identify yourself, please? We got to turn the microphone back on. No?
And it's going to be green.
All right, there, it works.
Okay.
We got it
You can
figured
identify
out.
yourself, please.
I'm Beverly Bartolomeo. I live on 686 South Road, Templeton, Mass.
Thank you.
We were warned about using money from free cash and stabilization. We were warned in 1998. We were warned in 2002. In 2009, the Department of Revenue came here, and they told us to stop doing that. But because we never have enough money, it was an easy way to balance the budget. We can't continue on any longer. We have to stick to what we have is what we have to live with. We have a little bit of money in stabilization. We will not get a bond rating until we have money in the bank. You can take out what you want today, but you'll just be doing what others have done before you, and we will gain nothing.
Mr. Moderator, I would
Gentleman,
like to ask if our interim town administrator, Carter, could get up and speak, please?
is that what the gentleman on the side of you was going to ask? I believe he was before you. That was you? Okay. He had the microphone next, is what I'm getting at. Yes? Any objections? You can be next. That's fine. Yes.
Good evening. My name's Carter Terenzini, and I'm the interim town administrator.
Thank you.
In the normal course of events, I would agree that we should not withdraw the money from stabilization. However, we are 4 months, give or take, into the fiscal year. Our options, when we looked at them, and let me speak to stabilization and the bond rating first. The difference between $144,000 plus or minus in the bank and $65,000 minus in the bank, quite frankly, is not going to move your bond rating. Think of it as your own personal credit rating. This is not going to change things. The revenue that you're currently earning on it is 0.4%, or approximately $40 a month. So in terms of protecting it because you want to earn interest, or you believe it will enhance your bond rating, with all due respect, it simply is not going to do that. Now let's talk about the options of how to close this budget gap that was discovered late into this fiscal year. Option number one is simply to increase our revenue estimates and hope that we can get DOR to accept them. That's really not a good way to go. You're setting yourself up for failure. And some of those revenue estimates were already in question. The second thing that you can do is you can cut the amount of money that you set aside for overlay. That is unlikely we can convince DOR to allow us to do. And you've already had a number of years where you've had deficits in your overlay account. The third method, frankly, is to cut your budget. For us to either, in the spring, freeze the budget right now by direct, look for how to find those dollars and then cut it formally in the budget, or absorb it when the fiscal 2017 recap is done. Frankly, this deep into the fiscal year, with several of the accounts problematic to get through the year, I did not consider that a wise option. Therefore, based upon having done this for a number of years, looking at those three options, looking at stabilization, it was the one that I truly felt was the best one in the interest of the community. I would not propose stabilization to fund a budget at the beginning of a fiscal year, but filling a gap discovered unexpectedly in the middle of the year seems to me exactly what stabilization is for. Thank you, and appreciate everybody's welcome to town as I talk about me.
Thank you. Further discussion? It should be all set. The light is on.
The light's on. Julie Farrell, 24 Myrtle Street, Baldwinville. There was a handout out in front, and it's labeled Templeton Advisory Committee, General Stabilization Fund. It's a number of sheets that are stapled together. The first page goes over the philosophy of what we believe as an advisory committee should be put into stabilization. The second sheet is a breakdown of our stabilization as it currently stands and what it should be. Right now, it stands at $142,326.99. Our operating budget, this stabilization account is our rainy day budget to back up and support our budget of $13,522,977. Okay? That's hovering around 1%. In financially stable towns, that figure is 10% of your operating budget. The problem that we have as a community in a town is that we have not had the audits done, and the audits need to be approved and done by the DOR before they will approve free cash. Once this money is gone, it'll be many more years before we will ever have free cash certified, and then town meeting can vote to put that free cash back into stabilization, into our rainy day fund. We don't have a mechanism to do that right now because we don't have any audits done, and we don't have any free cash that is certified by the Department of Revenue. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Go ahead.
Thank you. I want to point out that part of what Mrs. Farrell just said is factually inaccurate. DOR does not do our audits. We are audited by a private accounting firm. As far as this general statement from the advisory board, that's strictly their opinion. It's up to you, the voters, as to whether this is a suitable use of stabilization. And also the fact that these long-term obligations have to be paid. We have no other means to do it. So I would urge you to vote yes on this.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Mr. Moderator.
She had her hand up.
Kate Fulton, 79 Bridge Street.
Thank you.
I did vote no on this because, like the rest of the board, I had concerns about the use of stabilization funds, and I still have concerns. We really should have at least $1 million, maybe even more, in our stabilization fund. However, I do realize that there were mistakes, and they were mistakes that were done by the administrator at the time, and also the selectmen, and maybe to the advisory board as well, at last May's annual town meeting. However, there needs to be a correction, and if the only way to do it is to take stabilization funds, then I guess we have to do it. But we better do it holding our noses.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Mr. Moderator.
Yes, go ahead.
Wilfred Spring, Chairman of the Advisory Board.
Thank you.
The stabilization basically provides funds for significant and extraordinary and unforeseen expenses. With little or no money, we are at the peril of something happening within the community, which we need. Generally, most communities have 5% as minimum. For our community, that would be $750,000. We just ended up going to an annual meeting of the annual town finance committees, and when I mentioned the amount of money that we had and how small it was, all the communities that I did talk to were very much surprised that we were in such bad financial conditions, and they basically told me that we should be working on getting as much into stabilization in the future and even now, and not touching it. That was their recommendation from a number of folks that come from large and small communities.
Thank you. Further discussion? Go ahead, sir. Yes.
Richie Chadia, 711 Ballinville Road, Ballinville. I was understood that the stabilization fund was for buying equipment and not anything else. Truck equipment like the highway, police, whatever.
Okay. Maybe that's something the advisory committee could answer for you.
There is two stabilization one. This is the general stabilization. That's for the entire community. There's a capital stabilization, which is exactly for the purpose that you're talking about. That has even less money than this one. I believe at the last time that we saw a figure, and I can't quote that, but I don't think it was more than $10,000.
I didn't.
Do you have another question, sir?
I didn't realize there was two stabilizations.
Thank you. Further discussion? Sure. Go ahead.
Gordon Moore, Brooks Village Road. I just wanted to address something that was said earlier. It was stated prior that the deficit, or not debt, the amount that we needed to kind of fix this year's operating budget was not seen. And in fact, the advisory board had recommended, because we had seen some issues and shortfall, so it was seen. We're not very far into this year already. And my biggest concern when I get into this is what's going to happen when we get to the end of the year if we don't have any money. We don't know how this year is going to play out, and already we're taking, I think, more than half of that money. What will we do? Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Mr. Moderator, if I could end up adding a little bit more. Wilfred Spring again, Chairman of the Advisory.
Thank you.
Presently, if you look at your warrant, at the end of the warrant, it shows you that there's two accounts that are going to end up having deficits. One, unemployment insurance, which the advisory board ended up talking at the annual town meeting that it was about $20,000 under budget. The other that we just found out about is the general insurance, which the administrator has pointed out is about $50,000 plus. If we can't end up coming up with that money now, the question is how are we going to end up coming up with it later on? There is no extra in most budgets. If any budgets have any extras, it's very small amounts, and maybe $1,000 or $2,000 there. That's not going to get us to the $70,000. In addition to that, some of you, and all these, the things that I'm going to end up pointing out are facts that have either been talked about at selectmen's meetings, advisory, emails, or other discussions, and have been also in the administrator's reports. Right now, we're presently looking at 2 fire trucks that are in jeopardy of public safety. One has got $25,000 which is needed for replacing the pump. Another fire truck has an engine that's gone.
Mr. Moderator.
Okay. Ask me first, don't just interrupt him, okay?
Roger.
All right. Mr. Spring, 1 second, please.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
He needs to be discussing the motion only, which is stabilization.
And you were discussing
Fire
two
trucks.
different, right. There's 2 different stabilization accounts. You made that clear earlier.
Right, but this impacts our ability that they can pay for these things in the future, and that's why I'm bringing them up.
Okay, all I would ask is that you finish answering what the question was before, determine your 2 accounts, and stick with it.
Okay.
Okay?
What it comes down to is there's probably not enough money in stabilization that they can end up paying for some of the things that we're going to end up foreseeing in the future here.
Thank you. Further discussion. I'm not going to entertain a shout out. If you'd like to come down to the microphone, I'll entertain it. There's a motion on the floor to move the question. This motion is only to move the question. All in favor of moving the question signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, it's unanimous at 7:40 p.m. We're not going to have any further discussion. We are now voting on Article 2. All in favor of Article 2, let me also remind you that this has to pass by a 2/3 vote. All in favor of Article 2 signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed? No. It passed a 2/3 vote at 7:41 p.m. Let me remind you, it is the moderator's discretion, and it's 340 to 172. If you'd like a hand count, ask. Okay. And we have at least 7. Okay. Okay, you may have a seat. We're going to do a hand count. I need counters to come forward. Different sections. Yep, come on up. Okay, if I can have your attention again, please. We're going to have a hand count on Article 2. All in favor of Article 2, please raise your hand. Keep it raised until we tell you or ask you to put it down, please. There's a large crowd. Just keep your hand raised, please. We'll take care of the stage. Everybody's split up. They're fine. Just keep them raised for a minute, okay? Thank you. Okay, you can put your hands down if you haven't already. Thank you. Okay, if I can have your attention again, please. All opposed to Article 2, please raise your hand. Keep it raised. Thank you. Okay, if we could have your attention, please. Okay, on Article 2, 237 yes, 226 no. Article 2 did not pass by a two-thirds vote at 7:56 p.m. Article 3. Yes. Where did that microphone go? Can we get that microphone back?
Thank you. Tom Miller, 231 Lord Road, Templeton. I'd like to make a motion to move Article 8 to be the next article voted on.
I had already said Article 3. Right? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, if I can have your attention, please. First of all, I said Article 3. So we're going to hear Article 3. Second of all, I didn't have a second on that motion. Okay. It's not going to be recognized. Article 3.
Mr. Moderator, Article 3, FY 2017 operating budget amendments. I move to waive the reading and approve the article published, provided, however, that the information noted on Exhibit A shall be deleted and not included as part of this motion.
Advisory Committee.
Have the article. Gordon Moore, Brooks Village Road.
Okay, I am asking about the Advisory Committee. What is your recommendation? We'll go with discussion in a minute, but we're going to follow the same order. Advisory Committee is next.
The Advisory Committee had made a number of these amendments as recommendations at the annual town meeting in May. These amendments will address some of the issues in the FY17 budget, but not all. There will still be shortfalls in a number of accounts that will have to be addressed at the annual town meeting next May. Two accounts in particular will have shortfalls totaling more than $60,000, and this could be more depending if the Department of Revenue allows the excise revenues as stated in the FY17 budget to stand. Alternatively, the town could choose to make reductions in town services in order to balance the budget. Most recent debt exclusion information received from the town's finance department indicates that the FY17 budget had the debt exclusions understated by approximately $216,000. Advisory Committee, Article 3, there were 5 yes and 1 no. The no vote. After careful review of the budget amendments to FY17, a disturbing piece of information was discovered. Under footnote 7, unemployment compensation underfunded. Also, group insurance account is underfunded plus or minus $50,000. A supplementary transfer in May will likely need to be made. The no vote was cast because if there isn't enough money in October to fully fund these accounts, how likely is it that there will be money in May to make a transfer into these accounts? Also, if Article 2 fails at the special town meeting, the budget will be at least $87,500 out of balance. The transfers described in Article 3 will not bring the budget into balance if Article 2 fails at the special town meeting.
If you can identify the no vote. That doesn't tell me anything.
Julie Farrell, 24 Myrtle Street, Baldwinville, Mass. Member of Advisory Committee, voted no on this article.
Thank you. Further discussion.
Mr. Moderator, Gordon Moore, Brooks Village Road.
Thank you.
Could we please get the articles read? Not everyone here may have the published, and I hear a lot of rustling of paper in that some do, but I'm not certain on some of these, like I didn't even catch if they made a change or something, because the published is just a warning of the articles, and they could be somewhat different. So I'm not even sure. Could I at least get this one reread as it was stated so that I know what it is that they said?
No. They are published correct. Every information in there is correct.
Is that what they moved? They said what was published?
Hold on. If you need a copy, there was some on the way in. Everybody should have obtained a copy. If you have a specific question in that article, that's a different story. But we're not going to read the entire article. That's the reason why we did it this way. Further discussion?
Julie Farrell, 24 Myrtle Street, Baldwinville. This is the warrant. The last page of the warrant has the breakdown of the transfers that are being made into the budget. So from the Board of Selectmen's salary/wage adjustments account, $31,000 is being transferred out of that into all of these different salary accounts to give raises. The next transfer is Board of Selectmen's salary/wage adjustments, $4,000. $4,000 is being transferred from the wage adjustment to the Selectmen's office expense. The next adjustment is on the back of the page. Town administrator salary, they're taking $5,500 out of that account and putting it into personal administration expense. There's a town account certification, $3,000, is being split between town accountant software and town accountant expenses. The town vehicle fuel account is being reduced by $10,000 and put into unemployment insurance fund. And that's footnote 7, and that's where you'll see that there's, even with this transfer, there's not enough money in that account to get through the year. There's another transfer out of town vehicle fuel, $9,500 into Council on Aging Director salary. There's Recreation Commission salaries is being reduced $3,800 and being put into Recreation Commission expenses, and that's just a simple transfer. Principal on long-term debt is being broken out, so it's going to be reduced by $304,208, and it's going to be put into interest on long-term debt versus the principal. That was one of the recommendations made by the Department of Revenue to our accountant to split that out. And that was one of the recommendations by the advisory committee in May, but that was not done in May, so they're doing it now. Okay? So what this means is these transfers, when they were voted, were to bring the budget of FY17 into balance. That's why we're having this special town meeting. That's why it was called, to make sure that the balance, that FY17 was in balance. It's no longer in balance. This does not do that, and that's why I voted no.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Mr. Moderator, just to add to that, by not passing the Article 2, that puts us further out of balance. We had recommended a number of things. The selectmen's budget was approved. It was out of balance to begin with. It still is out of balance. Why the advisory board recommended a yes is only some of these would end up being corrected, but not all. We still face issues with this entire budget.
Mr. Moderator.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Mr. Moderator, can I allow the town administrator to speak, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Let me first speak to the unemployment and the insurance. We will receive a rate adjustment on our unemployment rate in January. The hope is that that will go down to a lack of activity on our account since the end of fiscal 14. Additionally, we do not pay unemployment on everyone's wages for the entirety of the year, around $18,000, $20,000 of the base, that stops. So, will the $10,000 cover it? I think so. That's why I asked for it. At the same time, I like to try to keep folks informed and post as to what may come down the line. It's not uncommon to have accounts run at variance over the course of the year. With respect to the health insurance, we're currently about 1% over trend. That is to say, we're 4 months into the year and we've spent 1 percentage point more out of that budget. It may need some additional dollars. At the same time, I advised the advisory committee when I met with them that it also very likely may right-size itself. For instance, we have one vacancy that has occurred within the last week. We may have another one or two, and by either purposely or just by the time it takes to fill jobs, that may very well right-size itself. If this article is not approved, there are a number of line items that will not have sufficient money, and the pay raises for folks will not be able to be paid to them throughout the entire course of the year. The only alternative at that point is to shorten hours or to take other actions. I would respectfully ask you to approve this. The budget is balanced overall, other than the Article 2 that was just dealt with, and allow us to move forward. Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, let's vote on Article 3. All in favor of Article 3 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. It passed at 8:07 p.m. One moment, please.
Heard us this time.
Go ahead, sir.
I make Tom Miller, 231 Lord Road, Templeton. I make a motion to move Article 8 to be the next article to be voted on.
Thank you.
Sean Hamilton, 538 Berry Road, Templeton. I second it again.
Thank you. Okay. Well, you don't need the applause. I don't need the applause. Everybody can hear us. What we are voting on is to move the question, from 8 up to the next question. I need that. Okay. I need that in writing. 1 second, please. Okay, if I can have your attention. The motion on the floor is to move Article 8 up to the next article for discussion. Further discussion on this motion that's on the floor. Okay, seeing none, you're voting on a motion to move Article 8 up to your next article. Not yet. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. It passed at 8:09 p.m.
Mr. Moderator.
Okay, Article 8.
Mr. Moderator, Mark Barrio, 75 Railston Road. Move to see if the town will vote to rescind Article 1 of the November 9th, 2015 special town meeting, Article 1 death authorization, Templeton Elementary School, to see if the town will vote to appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds an amount of money to be expended under the direction of the Templeton Elementary School Building Committee for the purpose of paying the costs of designing, constructing, originally equipping, and furnishing a new Templeton Elementary School located at 17 South Road, Templeton, Mass., including the payment of all costs incidental or related thereto, the project, which school facility shall have an anticipated useful life as an educational facility for the instruction of school children of at least 50 years, and for which the town, through Narragansett Regional School District, may be eligible for a school construction grant from the Massachusetts School Building Authority, MSBA. The town acknowledges the MSBA's grant program is a non-entitlement discretionary program based on need as determined by the MSBA, and any project costs the town incurs in excess of any grant approved by and received from the MSBA through the Narragansett Regional School District shall be the sole responsibility of the town. Any grant that the town may receive through the Narragansett Regional School District from the MSBA for the project shall not exceed the lesser of 62.84% of eligible approved building costs as determined by the MSBA, or 2, the total maximum grant amount determined by the MSBA.
I'm being advised that it is not a legal motion and it cannot be voted on at this meeting. Okay, can I have attention, please? Please. Are there any further motions?
Mr. Moderator?
Do you have a motion?
Yes.
Okay, let me hear it.
I'd like to move that the town suspend any further action on the, where's the, suspend any further action on the article that was voted, Article 1 debt authorization at the November 9, 2015 special town meeting until audits have been complete and it is approved by town meeting. Yes.
Stop, please. There's a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, I need it in writing, please.
Yes. Can you give me a minute to write that down?
Make it quick.
Mr. Moderator, on that citizen position, there is no other information concerning or changes at the bottom of the motion.
Let me see the motion first, and maybe I can answer that question.
Or take any action, therefore.
Let me see the motion first, and then...
Okay.
Okay, if I can have your attention again, please. I have a motion in writing in front of me. There are a couple of changes on the same piece of paper that you have in front of you. On the beginning, it says, to see if the town will vote to suspend any further action on Article 1 of the November 9th, 2015 special town meeting. The rest of the article remained the same. Down at the very end, it ended with MSBA with a period. What the motion in front of me is adding, until all audits are completed and it's approved at the town meeting. This is not a legal motion. Further discussion.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes.
I move that no action be taken on Article 8.
Okay. We have a second. Okay. Okay, your attention, please. The motion on the floor, in writing, I move that no action be taken on Article 8. We have a second. That is what you're voting on, that there is no action taken on Article 8. What you're voting on is the motion on the floor. And the motion on the floor, handed to me in writing, is that there be no action taken on Article 8. I'm simply reading to you what I was handed. Further discussion on the motion? Yes? Yeah, it's on.
Okay. Dan Dean, State Road.
I'm asking you, do you have further discussion on this motion that was just handed to me?
I would like clarification on it. So if this motion, the motion we are voting on right now, is to not do anything according to this article that we're voting on tonight, correct?
I'll refer you to the person that asked the motion.
So meaning, if I may,
If you have a question, sure.
So in other words, this is just, everything's going to stay as it is, so the school will continue doing what they're doing, correct? Okay, thank you.
All right, wait. If you have a question, we're going to get an answer for it.
Just answered it.
Well, they didn't answer it.
It just means that we're going to take no action, and it's like passing it over, but I have to put it in writing to take no action.
Meaning to
take no action.
Okay.
Enough. Listen, stop, okay? There's one person on a microphone at a time. If you shut out, you will be asked to leave, okay? He has a microphone and she has a microphone. He's going to ask, hold on. He's going to ask a question, she's going to answer it.
So in other words, everything's status quo, the building, they could still continue with building, correct?
To take no action, correct?
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion, discussion.
Diane, one other point of
Hi. We're discussing this one particular motion.
I understand that.
Okay, so you have discussion on...
It pertains to that.
Okay.
If it turns out to be a no vote and pass over, it cannot be brought up again tonight, correct?
If you vote yes to take no action, of course it could be brought up again. There are rules in town meeting time about that. So,
The same, in other words, the same rules apply to a regular vote?
yes.
Okay, so, all right, that's all I needed to know.
Thank you. Further discussion.
Yes. And I apologize because I may just be dense, but
If you could identify
Wait.
yourself, please.
yeah, oh, I'm sorry. George Barnes, 23 Wellington
George.
Road. Are we taking no action on Article 8 as written in here, or are we taking no action on the substitute motion that was brought up after we were told we couldn't vote on this?
I will refer your question to the person that wrote the article, the motion.
They are both deemed illegal articles.
So why are we taking no action if they're both illegal? I'd like to get through this part.
If I could, with permission of the moderator.
Yes, you can. If you could just identify yourself, and, yeah, the microphone was on, you just have to speak up a little bit.
I'm Paul Durensis, I'm the town's lawyer.
Thank you.
A motion to take no action defeats the article. It's the same as rejecting Article 8. Can it be brought up again? There is rules for reconsideration of articles. There's a bylaw that allows a process by which an article can be reconsidered.
Can you explain those?
But I still don't understand, does that refer back to the original article or the substitute motion? I'm still...
Yeah, you can follow up with that, George. Just one second. Just one second. Did that answer your question?
No, because there were two things out there, and I just need to know, does this refer back to the original, or does it refer to the substitute motion? Because I think, you know, if we're taking no action and there's two different things out there.
Okay, so the first motion was deemed as not... Really?
Mr. Moderator, can I respond?
No, one second. One second. The first motion that was on the floor is deemed not to be legal.
That's gone.
There was a second motion, and that was deemed not to be legal. We're beyond that.
So there's
What
no
we are
motion-
discussing right now is this motion on the floor that I moved that there no action be taken on Article 8.
Okay, now I think I get it. Because Article 8 still exists as an article, but not a motion. Yeah, because, well, anyway.
If you have a question, well, okay, thank you.
Mr. Moderator, Tony DeJoy, 8 Minuteman Drive. Can you explain the rules to everyone so everyone knows after the vote is taken, the time limit, the closing of the meeting, what those rules are so people don't leave and this get reopened? My second question is, if it is an illegal question, why do we have to take any action at all?
Correct. Okay, if I can get your attention. To answer your first question, reconsideration is done within one... Are you coming back up here? Okay, thank you. Okay. Reconsideration is done within 1 hour. Okay? It can be reconsidered within 1 hour.
Okay,
Okay.
if the town meeting closes before that, does that nullify the 1 hour?
Yeah, there's no further discussion after the meeting is closed.
Okay, just
Okay,
clarifying. Just
right.
no.
And the reason, to answer your second question, the reason if we're not going to take any further action because it's illegal anyway, as you had stated.
Yes.
It's on the town warrant, we have to do something with it.
Okay.
Okay?
Right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Alex Lyman, Prospect Street.
Thank you.
I'm wondering why the motion was illegal.
The motion that is on the floor is to move that no action be taken on Article 8.
But it's still pertinent. I can't decide how to vote on that one if I don't know why it was illegal in the first place.
Absolutely. Never explained.
Yeah, but the thing is, why are we even going to take just his word for it? I have to go back and say,
Attention, please. So your question and discussion should have been asked earlier when we were advising Article 8 was... Hold on a minute, I'm trying to explain it to you. You can say all you want, but I'm trying to explain it to you, okay? That's when it should have been discussed. However, what I'm being advised is that we obviously have to do something with it because it's on the warrant. What we're discussing right now is this motion. But to answer your question is because of money that was already spent on that article. Okay. Do you have a further question?
So then in order for it to be legal, it would have to be reworded so that the money that is already spent is spent, but that the rest of the money would be stopped.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we're going to vote on the motion that's on the floor. And the motion that's on the floor is, I move that no action be taken on Article 8. All in favor of this motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. It passed at 8:30 p.m.
Second.
Okay,
Mr. Moderator.
okay, yep, I'm going to get you, one second, yep. If I can get your attention again, please. You did have the microphone, thank you. I just wanted to, there's some legal things that we are,
I just don't want you to say next question, that's all.
I'll hear what you have to say.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to reconsider the previous article, Article 8.
Okay. Motion and second, okay, 1 minute.
you have more to say on that?
Not unless he asks me a question. Right there, Debbie.
The guy in the blue suit that was giving the other, doing the
Okay, your attention, please. Your attention, please. Sorry for the confusion. We just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. There's a motion in writing before me, and that motion is to reconsider the previous motion we just voted on,
Previous vote on the motion.
which was to take no action on Article 8. Okay? Essentially, what that means is we had to do it within 1 hour, which was done. That met that guideline. The next one is, if you were to vote yes, basically what that says is that you can talk about this article again. It can reopen. If you vote no, it means it cannot be brought up again. Okay? It is open for further discussion. If somebody has further discussion on that motion I just explained, let me hear it. And then we'll vote.
Mr. Moderator, Gordon Moore, Brooks Village Road.
Thank you.
I think you explained well the motion to reconsider allowing the town meeting here to reconsider some action they previously took when new information has come to light and they deem that maybe the action they took was incorrect. We have had no further activity. We operate under town meeting times. Town meeting times gives a lot of discretion to the moderator. Some of that is if it believes that one side is jockeying for position, he can find or she can find the motion out of order and not allow that motion. I think that this is a time where we have had no information come forward. If in the next article something comes forward that leads me now to say maybe we do need to reconsider it, I think that that would be appropriate then. So I just wish that you would find this out of order so that we can actually use the motion to reconsider in the intent that it is designed for. Thank you.
Okay. So if I could just, I'll answer your question. I'll agree with you that the moderator has discretion. Okay. As you saw earlier, my discretion was that we were going to hear the next article and we weren't moving a question. The crowd can make as much noise as they want. I don't care. Okay. It's going to be done procedurally. You say that there is new information. If you have something new, please present it. That's why we're open for hold on. That's why this is open for discussion right now. Okay? I have not been presented with anything new. Procedurally, there's been a motion on the floor. It has been voted on. It has been reconsidered, and now we're having discussion. Okay? So procedurally, everything's being done as properly as well. Okay?
No, I understand. Procedurally, it can be brought up at this point. What I'm saying is that because nothing new has come up, we have no reason that would allow it to change, whereas after the next article, if something comes up in that article, it might be like, oh, I want to reconsider. So all I'm saying is it's at your discretion. I accept that.
What I would
I'm just
suggest to you-
saying that, to me, I'd much rather have at least a chance to have some other action on articles or hear something else, you know.
And I agree with you. I agree with you. And what I would say is, if you have something new, don't wait until the next article. Bring it up right now. I'm willing to hear you. You have the microphone.
That would not be appropriate. We're talking about the motion to reconsider. We don't have new information. We can only talk on this article. Just like when we talked about the motion to pass over, we weren't allowed to talk about the merits of the Article 8. We could only talk whether or not we should pass over it. So that kind of puts me in a place where I can't bring up new information.
And on several occasions, I've said further discussion, and we
Right,
look
what I'm
around
saying
it.
is that because the discussion's limited to that motion, it's been not allowed to have some other information come up.
Okay, well, there's a time and a place for it, and if you don't take the microphone and give the information needed, I can't persuade you one way or another.
All right.
Okay.
Well, then I do have some thoughts then if
You have the microphone.
reasons why we should reconsider this. I'll be back. Go ahead.
Okay, please. He has the microphone. You can grab it. Go ahead. This is a reason why we should or should not reconsider.
The reasons
Go ahead.
we should be able to reconsider is that I agree we need a new school. I think everyone here is in agreement we need a new school. But we need to think about the effects that's going to have. And that's why we need to be able to reconsider this at a later time. This does, because what I'm trying to explain is why we need to reconsider it.
Okay. I think it should have been brought up before that. Okay.
I'm just doing it as you request. Can I go on?
There is discussion on reconsidering. That's what we're at, right? So if you have...
I'm trying to discuss reasons that we should reconsider.
Not put an opinion in saying that I think we need a school or not.
Okay. Well, reasons we need to reconsider this. We have to take into account that the town is facing over $1 million deficit from FY13. The audits in FY13, 14, 15, and 16 have not been completed. As we found earlier, the stabilization is underfunded. FY17 still has revenue shortfalls that are going to need to be addressed.
Okay. I've given you the opportunity to come up with new information, okay? And you haven't done that yet. Okay.
Some of this information was not presented.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, is right now is not appropriate time to present that information. Okay?
But you just told me to bring up information.
Yeah, new. Prior to reconsideration.
That's what I was saying. That's why I was saying.
Okay, well, we've already gone beyond that. Right now, we're discussing reconsidering that motion.
And that's...
Okay.
I'm just confused.
Okay.
I was trying to reconsider like you had directed me, but now you're saying that I'm not reconsidering properly?
No, I'm not saying that. Do you have a question you could ask somebody? Do you want to ask a question? Because
Can we be told what our bond rating is so that we know whether or not we should reconsider this?
Okay. No. Hold on.
I do know.
First of all, what this gentleman said at the beginning of his little speech there about town meeting times. Town meeting times is overridden by local bylaw. Our local bylaw on reconsideration says nothing about having to present any information. It's simply a vote up or down. And
I didn't say that.
The information he's asking is irrelevant to the question of reconsideration.
Okay.
Okay. So the reasons is if we vote down being able to reconsider it, we don't get to find out that we don't have a bond rating.
That's the reason why we vote.
Yeah.
So if you want to reopen it and discuss it, then you'll vote one way. And if you don't want to reopen it and discuss it, you'll vote another way.
Well, we should reopen and discuss it so that we can talk about the bond rating.
Stop.
We can talk about how it's going to affect our taxes.
Okay, and if that's what you want to
Yes,
vote a certain way for, that's your opinion, certainly. Thank you. Further discussion?
Mr. Moderator,
Use the microphone right there, please.
I make a motion that we move this question.
Okay. No. Mr. Q. Okay.
Mr. Moderator,
If you could, hold on. If you could, identify yourself and please say that again.
My name is Paul Quattrochi. I still live at 2 Military Drive.
Thank you.
I'd like you to move the question.
Okay. And
Make a
what-
motion, you move the
Yep,
question.
okay, thank you. And it's seconded, I understand that. I need discussion for, and I need discussion against. All we've heard so far was just against that. So I need to have at least one for, so it's fair for both sides before we move the question.
Mr. Moderator.
Go ahead, sir.
Paul Kane, 19 Kyle Drive. I think the people in this room who have tried to hijinks this meeting.
Okay, that's enough.
through
We're not going to hear it.
procedural-
Sir, we're not going to, okay. Your discussion is
This-
on, no, don't tell me to wait. Your discussion right now is for this reconsideration. That's what your discussion is right now.
Yes.
You have the microphone for reconsideration.
Yes.
In favor of.
Yes.
Okay, well, don't say everybody in this room and start putting an opinion, okay? Simply
Well, I'm
stick to your-
entitled to my opinion.
Right.
That's what
On-
this is all about.
On reconsideration, but don't try to degrade people, and that's
I'm not trying to degrade
okay.
anybody.
Go ahead.
What I'm trying to explain to you, my feelings, is it's a $48 million school that I think deserves discussion and not hijinks through procedures.
Okay, thank you.
Sharon Manti, 16 Manti Court. I'd like to ask the moderator a question. Prior to the reconsideration, did the moderator ever ask for a discussion on the Article 8 prior to the reconsideration? That's what I was wondering. It was like almost a discussion was kind of passed over.
Right. Yes, there was discussion to take no action. So yes, there was.
Just take no action was it? Okay.
There was discussion, just like we are now. Okay. Do you see that as a positive yet?
Mr. Moderator, Tom Miller, 231 Lord Road, Templeton. Both articles were deemed illegal. This is a procedural matter. Even if you wanted to bring it up again, there's nothing to bring up because it's illegal. Can we move the question, please?
That motion's already on the floor. We just need one for and one against. So what I'm saying is we've had one person say that they are... Okay. He is for it. We have to be fair. Okay. The motion that is on the floor is to move the question. No further discussion. We're going to move the question. All in favor of moving the question signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay. Opposed? Okay. Hold on. The motion that is, please pay attention because everybody's going to get confused. The motion that we are now voting on is to reconsider the motion that was passed earlier, that I move that no action be taken on Article 8. As I explained earlier, and I'll explain it again, if you vote yes, you can talk about and reopen that motion and have further discussion on it. If you vote no, it cannot be brought up again. Okay? Explained it good enough? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed? No. Okay. It did not pass at 8:51. If I can have your attention, please. Hello? We did not call a recess. If you are leaving, please do so quietly. Yes. Do you have some? No?
Mr. Moderator, I move to reconsider Article 2.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor, and there is a second. Need that in writing?
I do, and it's been within the hour.
Okay. The motion on the floor is to move to reconsider Article 2. It has been seconded. Right, because everybody is talking. That's because everybody else is talking. The motion on the floor is to reconsider Article 2. There has been a second and is now open for discussion. Yeah, that's,
Liz Toth, 141 Gray Road.
Thank you.
The motion is out of order because it's been over an hour. You cannot reconsider it.
I am being told it is not over the hour and it is going to be considered.
What time did it pass, sir?
Article 2 passed.
Or, excuse me, fail?
Article 2 did not pass by a two-thirds vote at 7:56. Further discussion.
So we're going to continue reconsidering it after you first tried to pass it the first time. We went through a vote.
I didn't try to do anything. The voters voted. I'm
No, you
allowing
tried to
'cause
pass it the first time, sir.
It is within an hour. Yes. Further discussion.
Tony DeJoy, 8 Minuteman Drive.
Thank you.
Could the Select Board or Town Administrator explain how you plan to make up this shortfall? So if you don't take it out of the stabilization fund, obviously there is merit to having a decent stabilization fund. How will you fix this budget deficit? Thank you.
I'm sorry,
Thank you.
before we can answer that question, I believe that we need to vote to either reconsider or not reconsider. As a procedural.
No, it's open for discussion.
We haven't voted whether, if the reconsideration is doesn't pass, then
I concur.
we can't answer that question.
Mr. Moderator, I withdraw the question.
Thank you, Mr. DeJoy.
Until
It's-
such time the vote is either
Okay, it's
passed or-
withdrawn. Thank you. Further discussion. We are going to have discussion on it, so yes. If somebody has something, that's what,
I'm sorry, Mr. Moderator, I'm not understanding.
All right, well, I'll discuss it.
okay. So the discussion is on reconsidering the question or not the actual, go ahead. Yes.
Alex Lyman, 34 Prospect Street. I feel that we're going to run out of time if we don't move things along, and so I'm not in favor of reconsideration.
Okay.
Could you clarify the vote? What a no vote means, what a yes vote means? A vote yes to reconsider means it opens it up for discussion. A no vote means there'll be no more discussion on question 2.
You just answered it, correct.
Okay.
Similar to the last one we just did. Very similar to the exact same last one. So everybody understood that previous question. It's just been explained again, what a yes vote means and what a no vote means. Further discussion. Okay. Motion that's before us, it's been seconded, we've had some discussion. Move to reconsider Article 2. All in favor of this signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed? No. Okay. It did not pass at 9 p.m. Yes, go ahead.
Alex Lyman, 34 Prospect Street.
Thank you.
I move that we get the audits for fiscal years 2014, 15, and 16 done before the next town meeting. Right here.
Okay. Alex, to answer your question, it is not on the town warrant. It is not on the article. It is not in order. So we're not going to entertain that motion. Article 4.
Article 4, FY 2017 Scholarship Fund. I move to waive the reading and approve the article as published.
Motion and second. Advisory Committee. No. Just make sure a little green, turn it to green. Yep. If it's red, turn it to green.
There we go. All right. The advisory committee recommends a yes vote. This should have been a separate article at the town meeting. It should not be incorporated into the operating budget of the town and should be voted upon. It's certainly necessary. It's not a lot of money, $4,000, but it is an excellent incentive for our young scholars as they carry on. Thank you.
Further discussion, Article 4. Come on down, use the microphone. Then everybody's going to start shouting loudly. No. If you're capable, come on down. If we can bring you a microphone. Can you identify yourself, please? Yeah, I'm sorry, we just can't hear you. Just make sure it's green. If it's green, then it's working.
Janice Lefebvre, 140 Bridge Street in Baldwinville.
Thank you.
Where are these funds, this $4,000, where is it going to come from?
Somebody that can answer that question?
Kate Fulton, we just voted it out in Article 3 out of the present operating budget for fiscal year 17, and instead of having it as part of the operating budget, it will now go towards the scholarships.
Mr. Moderator?
Further discussion?
Just to take it further clarification, that does come out of your taxes, but it's not within the budget. This is a separate article, and the reason for the separate article for scholarship money is that if it was not used and given out at the time that the students were submitting, then it would go back into the general fund. It's always been available for them to use by having an article. It continues to stay in the scholarship fund and can be used at a later time, like the second semester or whatever, for students.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, we're going to vote on Article 4. All in favor of Article 4 signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed? Okay, it's unanimous at 9:05 p.m. Article 5.
Article 5, CBA funding. I move to waive the reading and approve the article as published.
Second.
Advisory Committee, 1 minute, please. Okay. Advisory Committee.
Mr. Moderator, the advisory board unanimously, as a yes vote, this provides a raise to the town mechanic under the union bargaining agreement. And if we did not end up providing that raise under the union bargaining agreement, we could end up being sued by the union or further.
Thank you. Further discussion? Further discussion? Okay, we're going to vote on next Article 5. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed? Okay, that one is unanimous at 9:07 p.m. Article 6.
Article 6, appropriation of prior fiscal year CPA receipts. I move to waive the reading and approve the article as published.
The advisory board recommends
Yep,
a...
advisory board, you can go next. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Do I have to read that?
You're all set. Go ahead.
The advisory board recommends a yes vote. The actual vote was 6 yes. We voted unanimously.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Sharon Manty, 16 Manty Court. It says to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $242,979.25 from the Community Preservation Act fund balance. Now, is that the entire balance? Does anybody know, is that what we have in there? Or are we just moving this in there? You know, I mean, what is the balance? Is that the total balance? Does anyone know?
Yep. If somebody could answer that question? Sure. Yep. You're going to need a microphone, though. That's all. Identify yourself and then sure.
Kelly Pomprion, Town Accountant.
Thank you.
That is the fiscal 14 balance. At the town meeting that year, the article passed, but there were no amounts in that, and so we legally can't transfer that money, so this is just correcting that article from the town meeting to put the actual amounts in.
Okay, so in other words, $242,979.25 was the fiscal year 14 balance?
Total receipts.
What's the balance currently is what I'm asking for.
I don't have that information with me. You're welcome to stop by my office, or you could send me an email and I can
Well,
get
this
you
is a
that.
town meeting. I was hoping somebody could tell the town how much is in there.
Right,
That's
I don't
something
have
we
that
really should look at. I mean, who knows? Maybe some of this mess we're into now with the school, maybe buying land with this money, who knows? I mean, I don't want to, but I mean, I
Let's
really
stick to
need
the question. Okay, that is not
I
on the
really want to
article.
know what the balance is. I mean, I think people should have paperwork in front of them that tells us what, you know, what our accounts have in them.
Similar to the one we asked earlier, that is not on the article.
No?
You can ask a question. They don't have that information. You heard her answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Okay, Article 6. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed? That one is unanimous at 9:10. Article 7.
Article 7, acceptance of drainage and maintenance easement. I move to waive the reading and approve the article as published, provided, however, that the reference map to map 01 shall be corrected to read map 1-01.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Advisory Committee.
The advisory committee recommends for this vote, it's to correct, to allow for an easement that has never been, as I understand it, on the books officially. So this will just correct that. And the committee voted unanimously for that.
Thank you. Further discussion? Microphone. Yep. Go ahead, George.
Just to help explain this a little bit.
If you could identify yourself. I'm sorry, George.
Sorry, George Barnes, 23 Wellington Road.
Thank you.
This easement actually goes through my property, and the reason why it's brought up is it's a drainage easement. The drainage pipe connects with the school, the proposed school system, and it's collapsing. And when I brought it up to the engineers, They said they couldn't do anything about it because there had never been an agreement to put the pipe in the first place. So we're just trying to make an agreement to correct that, so that if they have to work on it, they can.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion? I'm sorry, she was actually up before you. Kate? Go ahead. Yep, microphone. It's okay.
I was just going to
No,
say,
if you'd identify yourself.
my name is Kate Fulton, and I live on Bridge Street, and I just want to say
Thank you.
this will not cost the town any further funds.
Okay, thank you. Yes, go ahead. Yep, no?
That answers my
You are?
question.
No, okay. Further discussion, Article 7. Further discussion of Article 7. Okay, we're going to vote on Article 7. All in favor of Article 7 signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed? No. And it did pass at 9:12 p.m.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes.
I move we dissolve the meeting.
Move to dissolve the meeting. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Have a good night. At 9:13 p.m.